What's up YouTube, Dal here from Sapphire Games, bringing you today Rob's first place pure lyrilusc profile. So this took the first locals post Synchro Storm and it did incredibly well. It took on Drytron, invoked Dogmatica, it also took on Tri-Brigade Zoo and Cyber Dragon, and it came out on top. So this deck got lots of new support from Synchro Storm and some very good support, albeit as well. It does get some more future support as well in the form of a spell card, which is basically a Dark Ruler No More for the deck. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to take you straight through it, show you what Rob plays and how he plays it. It is pure, it is relatively on a budget if you pick up the Bird engine, and it doesn't contain any Tri-Zoos as well. So, as we go through, we start off with the brand new card, which will be Triple Celestial Wagtail. So this is the brand new Ultra that came out in the set of Synchro Storm, and its effect is as follows. If this card is special summoned, you get to add a lyrilusc spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one lyrilusc XYZ you control, attach it to it as material. Only use each effect once per turn. And that's really important because they've got a Monster Reborn card, a card that brings back the XYZ. So sometimes you can bring back the XYZ without a material, and then Wagtail can reattach it. Obviously, its best effect, annoyingly, is specifically if it's special summoned, but you get to add a lyrilusc spell or trap. So that's how you get access to the brand new stuff, like the lyrilusc Bird Call, but it'll also be how you get to the Dark Ruler No More as well. For the other brand new card that they received as well is a Beryl Canary. This card is, again, very nuts. Like, they got some really great support. So, if this card is in your hand, you can target a lyrilusc monster in your graveyard and special summon both this card and that monster. You can't special summon monsters for the extra deck for the rest of this turn except XYZ. That's not going to be an issue. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. A winged XYZ that has this card as material gains 200 attack and cannot switch control. So it means your opponent cannot triple tactics and try and steal it. Then we go back to the original core. So you've got your Cobalt Sparrow, you've got your Wobbler, and then you've got your Sapphire Swallow. So all of these have their own synergy. So it's basically like if you control a Winged Beast, you get to special summon it. If you control no monsters, you can special summon it. And then the Colbo is if this card is special, you get to add a level 1 Winged Beast from your deck to your hand. So you've just got a lot of synergy to search through everything. The XYZ that uses this as a material cannot target it, so that's great, stops them being impermed. This one doesn't really have that kind of additional effect. But the Sapphire Swallow, if an XYZ, if it is XYZ summoned, you can target a lyrilusc monster in your graveyard and attach it to it as material. So again, it's ways of getting target protection, control protection, stuff like that. Then from Dawn of Majesty, it's time to play Slower Swallow. So this one is if 2 or more monsters with the same level are on the field, you get to special summon this card for free. Only special summon it once per turn this way. And then you can tribute this card to draw 2 cards instead of 1 during the draw phase of your next turn. But other than that, it's just a free level 1 Winged Beast extender. Speaking of Winged Beast, of course, we do play the one Nerval. Now, obviously, he's tried to avoid the entire engine. The reason Nerval is so good is for the pure fact that it gives you that ability to kind of bring out a Link monster from the Tri-Brigade, and ideally you've got stuff like Shurag and you've got Ferrijit, and that kind of still gives you a power play. But because it's only at 1, it's not a huge reliant. You're still going to be using it as a level 1 monster. You still use it as an XYZ material and kind of build from there. Onto the hand traps, Triple Ash Blossom, pretty straightforward on that one. And then Double DD Crow, as it is searchable through your XYZs. Moving on to the spells, he's gone with 3 Where Art Thou over the Jack in the Hand. Jack in the Hand is pretty cool, but it's the fact that you give your opponent like 3 discard fodder. I still think Jack in the Hand is a really cool card for the deck and can really up the consistency. But with Where Art Thou, it just gives you that ability because a lot of your level 1s are free special summons. Yes, you will take the 2k burn, but it does give you that ability of being able to up your consistency a little bit more. Even if you do take that burn, you're pretty much either going for OTK or you're going to be able to hold your opponent off enough that it won't really end your basic game. Then for the other one, we've got Triple Lyrilusc Bird Call. I love this card. This card is actually nuts. So you get to take a lyrilusc monster from your deck and either add it to the hand or send it to the graveyard. So Foolish Burial or a Rotor. Then you can special summon one lyrilusc monster with a different name from your hand. So again, that's how you can trigger off Wagtail. It's also how you can trigger off your other new one as well. Where are we? This one here. So this is how you can trigger off Canary. And it just kind of sets everything up. Setting up your graveyard, setting up your board, being able to get a free special summon is absolutely mad. So such a good card for the deck. And then he plays a ranges of one of, so we've got the one droplet. Now this is where it doesn't kind of help budget, but it was kind of the fact that he pulled this and was like, hey, it's a no-brainer to put this in. But this can easily be taken out. You can put in any kind of card you want. You put Crow up to 3, because again, it is a level 1. You could put in other level 1 extenders. You could put in Jack in the Hand, so that's kind of what you want to look for there. Obviously, Instant Fusion can give you into 3 level 1 extenders. Duster to deal with back row, 1-for-1 to get into the majority of your deck, Call by the Grave to stop anything that wants to stop your plays, and then he's got the 1 Bird Sanctuary. So you get to target 2 Winged Beast XYZ monsters you control, attach one of those to the other one as material, transferring the materials across. If you control an XYZ with 3 or more materials, you can draw 1 card. Only use the effect once per turn. So it's a continuous, it's kind of a one that lets you keep grinding out. I'm not too sure how much utility it has within the deck, but it's searchable as well, so keep that in mind. You're getting searchable draw power on top of that. Now onto the traps. Of course, triple Imperm. You should all have these by now with the Cyber Dragon structure decks. And then of course, triple Harpy's Featherstorm. This card is actually nuts. So if you control a winged beast monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effect your opponent activates. If you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from the hand. If this card in its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to add a Harpy's Feather Duster. So the idea is that this is just pretty much a trap version of Dark Ruler No More that shuts your opponent out for the entire turn, which is mad. Such a good card, very, very powerful, and in my opinion, a almost must staple in this particular deck. Moving on to the XYZ, the extra deck, let's talk about, so for the fusion, for your instant fusion target, you got the 1 Nightingale. So again, it's purely just here as an instant fusion target. It is a level 1 Winged Beast. It does set up your other plays as well. And then for the link monsters, you've got the 1 Almirage, just in case you do go into Nerval and you need to link Nerval off or anything along those lines. Ferigi and Shirag, obviously they're both incredibly powerful cards, especially with a free special summon, a draw and put back, and then obviously the banish and a bit of searchability later on as well. Moving on to the XYZs, we'll save the lyrilusc for last. So the lyrilusc end board is actually pretty nuts because it does end on the lyrilusc. It gives you like a compulse, and then it also ends you on Utopic Future. So Utopic Future to Utopic Draco. Incredibly nice little engine, very, very powerful, and you are pumping out your rank 1 so easily, it's mad. To help your Zeus engine, of course, you've got your Downard and then your Zeus, just to make sure that Zeus can have 2 negate or 2 board wipes in theory. And then for the extra deck, you've pretty much got 2 Nightingale. So this is one that lets you attack directly depending on how many materials it has. And that's where the spell card can come into play, because if you put more materials on this card, it can attack directly more times, and then it gains 200 for every material that it has. I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, Rob OTK'd with this, because you can put like 8 materials onto it, and it can attack 8 times with 1,000 attack, so or something along those lines. So it's pretty nutty to watch that. It's a bit of a weird way to OTK, but gets the job done. And then, of course, we've got triple Starling. So this is the one that lets you search out DD Crow, if I remember correctly. Target a face-up monster on the field. It gains 300 attack for each material attached to this card. And then once per turn, you get to detach a material from this card to add a level 1 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. All battle damage you take from battles involving this XYZ is inflicted to your opponent. So the idea is you can use this effect, boost your opponent's attack, and then crash into it, and then they take huge amounts of damage. And then we've got 2 Ensemble Robin. So this is the brand new card. This is one that's like a double compulse. It's very, very good. So gains 500 attack for each material attached to it. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters except during a damage step, you detach a material from this card, then target one of those special summon monsters and return it to the hand. If this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, target another lyrilusc monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So the idea is that the end board, considering that I don't believe that this is once per turn at any point, it's just when they special summon. So the end board is pretty much going to be Ensemble with a Utopic Draco. So you've got a negate and then double bounce at base minimum, if not giving this more materials. So the deck is crazy consistent and very powerful, which is why it did really well. And then when you look at the meta decks that it had to face last night, I think part of it was down to people not knowing exactly what the deck could do. But on top of that, the deck is just crazy consistent, which is why, in my opinion, I thought these were going to be a lot higher. So if you find them cheap enough, it's definitely worth picking up. He also provided me with his side deck. So his side deck is triple Chalice, double Cosmic with triple Twin. Obviously, they hate back row. And then triple Lancia, trying to out the Tri-Brigade matchups, triple Evilly, and then the one red reboot. So you can see that there is a lot of consistency or a lot of focus on back row, with 6 cards already dealing with the back row. Chalice is just a budget version because you can still do damage, but it also gives you that quick effect to chain it. Whereas if he probably had more drop lists, he'd probably play those, and that's kind of a route you want to go with. Anyway, I hope you like this. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of your own Lyrilusc build, and it definitely proves that the deck can do very, very well. Now, if you add Tri-Brigade in here, you'll probably get a few more consistent routes and plays, and you can go Barrier Statue and all of that. But shy of that, I still think the deck is incredibly powerful on its own and very, very good going pure, just because their new cards like Ensemble, Wagtail, and everything like that just does so much. It's very, very powerful and provides you with enough disruptions to really cause your opponent issues. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.
Yeah.